I spent time learning about Mr. Beast and what he has to teach to potential YouTubers like me. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys 8 things, or I don't even know how to put 8 on my fingers, but I'm going to give you guys 8 things that I learned from Mr. Beast. Number 1, at the beginning of a video, just tell the person what you were doing in the video. When he was in the video talking to other podcasters, I think he was talking to Nate Shot, the owner of 100 Thieves. It's a esports team. He was telling them that when you're making a video, just tell the people what you're talking about. Make the thumbnail and title what you're talking about, because that creates transparency and people want that when you're making the videos. And the biggest thing I noticed was like in 2016, if you were into YouTube and you were watching it then, we all know about the whole clickbaits and all the clickbait scandals and stuff like that. But nowadays, all people really want is transparency. So in the beginning of the video, I'm working on myself. Do exactly what I did at the beginning of this video and just say what you're going to talk about. It's just that simple. Cut out all the so's, the likes and ands, cut out all that kind of stuff and just stick to what you're going to say. Or what I recommend is just go to Mr. Beast's channel and look exactly what he does in every single intro of his videos. And you'll notice that he does that exact same thing. He doesn't say and so like or any of that. He just says, in this video, we have 1,000 people, I watched one of his videos of him curing people's eyes, or we have 1,000 people age 0 to 99. Do that. It's a simple thing. Number 2, go on the video and look at when everyone clicked off and don't do those things. He went over and said that YouTube gives us the analytics to basically be successful, in the sense that we know it says on the site, when you go to analytics, you can see when people clicked off the video. And then you can go to that exact point, figure out what you did. I would actually recommend, don't just focus on the micro point, like, oh yeah, 44 seconds is when everybody started to click off and my views started to drop down. I recommend you just go from the beginning of the video to that point and just figure out what you're going to work on. You have to be very critical of yourself to actually improve it. I recommend also getting an outside source on it and saying, okay, like, what could I work on in this intro of my video? What can I work on in this first minute? Because it seems like, it's like a little chart. And it says I should put this right here, little chart, and it's like 80 or so, like it says 100 people did this, and then after like a couple seconds, if you start noticing like a sharp decline, you also see like people like clicking off, and at that point is when you should look at the stats of that. I'm going to put down in the description what the actual lines mean, because certain lines mean different things, like stark red lines, stark green lines mean like a spike in it, like a small green line means like, I think people are skipping to that part of the video. Yellow or red lines, but I'm not gonna butcher it in this video. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you read it for yourself. It's gonna be down in the description. Number 3, deliver what the video is talking about. Don't stray from the topic too much. Now, I watched recently something on Jordan Peterson. He was talking about a conversation, how conversations should be held if you're on a stage with an audience, and he discussed how on an audience, when you're the person speaking, when you're a speaker, you should be taking the audience on a story. And I thought that very impactful to me and like what I'm doing right now on YouTube. But at the same time, I also think that when you start to stray from the topic of the video and you start going on tangents about other things, I think once again, it makes you authentic as a speaker, because it shows that you're flawed. You don't have to make everything perfect. And I'm all for that. I've gone on tangents in all my videos and I will continue to do that. But I think it's important to stay on the topic as much as possible. If you're talking about how to get better grades, stay on that topic. If you're talking about, how to get girls and whatnot, stay on that topic. If you're talking about, doing better on a high school exam, do that. If you're talking about dieting, if you're talking about exercising, stay on the topic as much as possible. If you want to stray, do it. By all means, do it. But don't make it your primary goal to stray from the topic. Take your audience through a story. Stay on topic as much as possible. Number 4, eventually when you make enough money, outsource what you dislike. The point of that, I'm gonna read it again, and you probably already know if you're in this space. Eventually, when you make enough money, outsource what you do not like. In one of the podcasts he was with, he was talking about how certain people, they keep doing the things they don't like, and it makes it harder for them to do YouTube. They were talking about YouTube burnout. I think it was on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast. And he was talking about, do you think that YouTubers burn out? And he was talking about, yes, he says it's funny how like he sees a lot of people who like are very ambitious about YouTube and then they just get burned out and they stop making content. And he said probably the primary reason And what I took from it was the primary reason is because people don't know how to outsource what they don't like. Like if you like making thumbnails, then go about the process of making thumbnails. If you like actually recording the videos for yourself, it will actually go about recording videos. If you don't like editing, which the simplest thing that I feel like to outsource is editing the videos. If you don't like to do that, then outsource. Once you make a certain amount of money as YouTubers, you literally can pay somebody $30,000, $50,000 a month just to edit your videos, and not even a month, a year, just to edit your videos and whatnot. And if you're Mr. Beast level, I mean, 100 million, 150 million subscribers, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a team behind you to help you. Number 5, quality over quantity. Now, this depends on what your goal is. Personally, my goal is not to chase virality, even though it may not seem like since I'm technically on the internet, but whatever. Virality, don't chase virality, because when you chase virality, the community that you want to build is only there for your videos, not for you yourself. Now, that may sound kind of like counterintuitive to say the least, but in the case of chasing virality or not chasing virality to me seems better. I learned this from Hamza, and he was talking about in a video, he was saying that if you want an actual community, you don't want to chase virality, you want to find people who are like-minded like you to continue keeping the brand up and whatnot. But in the case of if you're chasing virality, which this point is still really good because I'm explaining quality over quantity. So in the video, he was talking about how people need to start generating better ideas for videos. Instead of spending 7 days a week making videos that make 100K, how about you just make one good video that grosses 1 million? And that idea got to me in that regard. Now, I'm going on a different kind of tangent on this about saying, don't chase virality. And I think quality over quantity still means that you're not chasing virality. I still think you can do both ways, but most of the time when I feel like people hear quality over quantity and he said, 1 million views and whatnot, people are going to interpret that as, I have to find the greatest video. And like I said, that's not bad. What are your goals? If your goals are to become famous, do that. If it isn't that way, okay, then still do quality over quantity, but it's just not going to be as focused on that. I don't think I explained that point that well, but I'm going to put something down below as well. It's by Andrew Kirby, so you can find all the information that is in this video, and I'm going to and Mr. Beast explains it himself. Come up with better ideas for the video. Just like I went over, if you come up with better ideas for your videos, they will probably be better off. Like instead of making some crappy video that, maybe a few people are going to watch technically, you could just spend your time thinking about an actual good video, good 5 videos that your people who watch your content will actually like or will want to see more from you. Let's see. Number 7, give the people what they want. Now, if you're in the business space, you probably already heard the terms of like, people don't know what they want, like Steve Jobs and, what is his name? I'm gonna call him Ford, the guy who made Ford. Henry Ford, I think that's his name. They talk about that people don't know what they want. But in the case of content, I think it's best to do your best to kind of keep your content on the same straight and narrow. Like if you're talking about masculinity, like Hamza does a lot, talk about masculinity kind of related to that. If you're talking like Mr. Beast, he makes a lot of like game videos. You kind of should stick to that and keep consistent a little bit with that. Like I said, mix it up to your personality. I think YouTubers need to be more open to doing things they're interested in and their audience in, and they combine the two. But at the same time, it's very important to give the people what they want, because at the end of the day, most YouTubers are business. Most YouTube channels are businesses nowadays. So it's important to give the customers what they want. And at times you might have to, switch that and say, the customers don't know what they want, and you start experimenting with different ideas. That's another point coming back to number 6, come up with better ideas for videos and keep experimenting with those. It's important. Number 8, and lastly, take ideas, list them, and pick a few that you think will be the best and that will do the best. In the thing, he was talking about how I don't know if he actually did it, or he knew somebody, but the idea was that he got somebody to generate about 25,000 ideas for him for YouTube. And then his friends, like, I guess he finds people to like kind of go through, find like the best 100 or 1,000 ideas. And then him and his friends, or his group of like maybe 5, I don't know how many friends he has, but I know he has a lot. Only person I know is Chandler, but besides, I don't know him in person. Don't get it twisted. I don't know him in real life, but yeah, it's the only person I know from watching when I used to watch Mr. Beast, but that's a side tangent, whatever. He took the ideas and he broke it up, and they said, take these 100 best ideas, slide it down. We're going to get like 10 ideas, and we're going to say 10 ideas. And then I guess from that 10, you can just take it from 3, and then just literally take those 3 ideas and just focus on making the best video you can out of those ideas. Sorry if I keep hitting my microphone. Let me move this a little bit. So what I'd recommend you do is a very practical step right here. Just sit down for like an hour, take like a piece of paper out, and just write down 10 video ideas for your channel if that's what you want to do. 10 ideas, just 10. Then have somebody else maybe generate you another 10. Okay? Take those ideas, or literally, I'm actually gonna combine this step, 2 steps. Very practical step here. To have somebody generate about 20 ideas for you. You and your friend maybe generate 20 ideas. If it's just you, solo channel, you do 20, maybe 100. Generate as much ideas as you can in like an hour period. Then a couple hours later, maybe you go back through and say, okay, what video is actually smart to make? What video is actually good? And you're going to have to, obviously work on your level of discernment and whatnot, but find like the top maybe 1 to 5 ideas and just focus meticulously on those videos. Because 9 times out of 10, those videos will probably do better than if you make a video on like, how you diet or something. Because if your viewers are not interested in, how you're dieting, I mean, what's the point of actually making that kind of stuff? So this is what I learned from Mr. Beast. Quick little plugs in the description. In the description, I have my newsletter if you guys want to subscribe to that. In the description, I also am going to put a link to how to actually read the analytics graph for you guys. And then I'm also going to put where I learned my source for all this information. It was made by Andrew Kirby. And if you enjoyed this video, thank you. Do what you want with this information and have a good week.